Okay, let's drink some wine. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brian Hinchberger.
And I'm Paul Hinchberger.
We are the Wine Brothers,
Yes.
sitting in the beautiful Northwest. Absolutely gorgeous. The sun is actually shining, the trees are lush, and we have wine in front of us.
Love is in the air.
It's a good day. So, today we are going to talk about some wines from Ribera del Duero, a very popular, well-known DO of Spain. So we're sitting in the Castilla y León community, large general region, and Ribera del Duero is a pretty epic known place. You know, home to Vega Sicilia, and one of the greatest wines of the world. And so very excited to taste through these. Carles Font of Font y Jordana this is the Krismon line. So he does actually a couple different little projects. He's a sommelier and a winemaker, and he makes our cava. And if you've never tasted our cava, ooh, unbelievable cava. He's such an exquisite winemaker. He's really, really good at what he does. Yeah. This is his Ribera project. So super small, you know, but he wanted to do some things with the Ribera grapes. Ribera del Duero kind of has been going on this upward push towards kind of more like real big, oaky, huge versions of style, and he's a little bit more on the traditionalist side. Wants to really show what Ribera is known for: the earth, the leather, the intensity, the richness that these wines can create. Right. So the Duero River comes in. That's what essentially goes into Portugal, and that's where famous port is. So this river's been there for millennia, and it is
a long time.
A long time, and it has carved its way through the land. In fact, it's been there so long that now Ribera del Duero really isn't hilly at all. I mean, there's a few hills, but it's pretty flat, but all centered right around the river. He actually chose a little winery that sits fairly far north of the river. In fact, the Valbuena de Duero, which is a town, it's even like 20 miles north of that. So we're talking up in the boondocks is where he's pulling the fruit from, and also making the wine. In fact, what's kind of crazy is that the actual estate, I've got some cool pictures to check out. The actual estate did everything. It was your home, it was the winemaking facility, there was a chapel as part of it. And so the cool thing, Krismon, comes from this symbol. So the little symbol that sits on the label is in the chapel of this winery, and it's the Krismon. So kind of a little background of the name here. So Paul, let's start tasting these. So we're gonna start with the Krismon 6 Mesas. 6 Mesas meaning 6 months. So this is seen 6 months in oak, obviously, and 100% Tempranillo, Tinta Fina, Tinta del País, whatever it's called in the different regions. Here it's Tinta Fina. Oh, yeah. And yep, that's some goodie. That's some goodie right there. So, the neat thing about the earth here is it's super hot. You've got this continental climate, very, very hot summers, cold winters, and then with these years of this natural erosion from the river, there's layers and layers and layers. I mean, there's limestone, there's clay, there's marl, there's loam, there's sand. It's just totally layered. And what's neat about the root stock of Ribera del Duero is how deep the Tempranillo, the Tinta Fina, digs, which is pretty fantastic because it really adds depth. That's why you don't want to cover it up with too much of that oak, because you really want the grape to show off. Paul, shut me up. What do you smell?
Definitely spicy and mushroomy. Like it's kind of fresh mushrooms or like that earthiness.
Earthiness, definitely.
Yeah, and
definitely rich earth. Rich earth. I dig the mushroom call. I wouldn't have necessarily pulled it out by myself, but I'm gonna pick that mushroom with you.
Thanks.
But then really, really dark black fruits. That kind of brooding, rich, dark fruitness. The fruitness. It's here.
We make up lots of words on this show.
But that's why wine's fun, is because you can actually make up an entire dictionary. And it's allowed. It's actually encouraged. So, Paul, what's the palate like?
It's very. It's lovely. It's definitely not overdone. It's not over oaky at all. It's such concentration of fruit.
It's got a lot of grace. Like,
Ooh.
Oh,
I know what
I think I've made a lot of noises.
The other thing on the nose that I was getting was
spill it, boys, spill it.
Spiced meat, kind of like maybe spiced lamb or something.
And speaking of lamb, lamb is what you eat when you drink Ribera del Duero, hands down. In fact, there's a cute little picture on the back label of a little lamb head. Eat a little lamb, eat a little. I think that's also a cow and a cheese. Yeah, it goes with it all. But lamb, absolutely ideal. And you're right; it does have this meaty note to it, but it's a rich. It's not a fatty meat. Right. It's definitely that rich lamb texture.
Yes.
Hocus pocus alakazoo.
Sometimes I wonder about my brother.
Absolutely delicious wine. So that's the Six Mesas. We're talking $20 on a shelf. Retail shelf, $20 for fantastic Ribera del Duero. And if you like Ribera, I think you'll like this. If you like me, and you like him, then we all like each other. Let's taste this Crianza, huh?
Yeah.
So, like I said, by law, I believe it's something like 85% of Tempranillo has to go into these bottles.
Right.
This is absolutely 100% Tempranillo, Tinta Fina. But now this is a Crianza. So Crianza, by law, must be aged at least 2 years. 1 year in oak and 1 year in bottle. This has seen just that. 12 months in oak, no more, and then time in bottle. So this is 2007 that we're drinking right now. A little deeper.
Yes.
A little richer. What else do you get, Paul?
I'm kind of getting darker fruits, more like the blueberry kind of thing, but still definitely cherry. Cherry's a very prominent flavor in Tempranillo.
Ooh, so all French oak here. 100% French oak barrique. This saw a little bit of American oak, a little bit of French oak, which this translates to me is just the fineness of it. Really like pinpoint, like a nostril of a duck. Really, really, you just lasered in there.
Okay,
that's what I get.
I would agree with you. It is definitely like focused.
Yeah, very focused. That's what I mean.
And I really like the oak notes on it. I feel like I actually taste the oak.
The oak's there,
but it's not. But
it doesn't cover up what I love about Ribera, and good Ribera is it has that classic earth minerality to it. I am literally tasting layers of rock. Every one of them. I'm getting them all.
All the sedimentary soils.
Sedimentary soils to the sand to the loam, everything. It's kind of here layered for us to drink in person.
Delicious.
These are tasty. These are really tasty. Yeah. So we're $20 on a shelf, $30 on a shelf. For a great Ribera, it can't be beat. When you can't afford the $500, Vega Sicilia, hey, try Krismon.
Perfect.
$20, $30. These are really, really killer values for the quality of juice that's going in here. So Carles Font, Fonte Jordana Krismon, Ribera del Duero, pretty far north there, away from the river, not too much of that influence, and it's just this rich, dirty earthiness that's really showing through. Absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous.
It's got the leather, it's got the grip. I like these wines. Time for a French cut lamb rack.
Yes.
Cheers, everybody.
Later.